I'm going to wiggle on this chair so much, and it's going to make inappropriate noises.
I thought you farted.
Oh,
exactly. I know.
This is why we bought these chairs, because
we didn't know each other that well. Now, if you do, I will say something. In my old Kentucky home. Kentucky.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Kentucky Commons Radio Hour. I am Michael Moeller, joined tonight by one John Renane.
Hello.
And guest host, because David Satterley's not here.
Slacker.
Madelaine Ruggles, from former marketing maven and from Brewery to Brunch at Biscuit Belly now.
Yep.
Madelaine's here for us.
Yeah. Hey, guys. I'm disappointed Satterley's not here. It's the only reason I showed up, and Michael lied to me. So, but you get me today.
Very nice.
That's all great. And the voice that you hear is Rich Shanks from Kyros Brewing, the newest brewery in town here in Louisville. Rich, thanks for coming.
Oh, my goodness. I would have missed it. Thank you.
We are at Brewgrass Homebrew Supply here in Louisville, Kentucky. As always, if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Android, whatever you are listening to this on, thank you so much. But the last 2 months, we've been plugging our YouTube channel. So you can also see us as well on video camera. It's youtube.com/@ Louisville Ale Trail. You can see our faces. You can see the drinks. You can see our reactions to all the ludicrous things we say and everything in between. Madelaine and Rich, thanks for joining us tonight.
You're very welcome.
Absolutely.
Rich, tell us a little bit about yourself just from a high level before we kind of get started here.
Sure. Like high level.
Like,
Where do you
what's
come
your
from?
background?
Who are you?
Who am I? That's a good question. I've worked years and paid lots of money to find out that very thing. I'm still paying lots of money. Born and raised right here in Louisville, Kentucky. Actually graduated right across the street from our brewery at Portland Christian High School at 2500 Portland Avenue.
Very nice.
Yeah. Who knew that,
Full circle.
Full circle. I have been married for 33 years to an amazing woman, Cameron, who is also a participant in our brewery. She's amazing. In fact, if you've been to Kyros, she's probably the one who's poured your beer. She's very heavy-handed. So, some love her, some do not. I have 3 amazing kids, all adults now, 2 grandbabies. And, what do you do when you get to be my age? You start a brewery.
You either buy a boat or you open a brewery.
Oh, well, actually, I've done both.
Heck yeah. There we are. All right.
Checked one off
All
the
right.
list. Went on to number 2.
Yep, I was on the boat today. So there you go.
Oh, very nice. What kind of boat do you have?
I have a...
I don't really know anything about boats. I'm just making small talk.
it's a great boat. It's a Carver 320 Voyager.
Hell yeah.
Yeah? Do you ever take that on the Ohio River?
That's
what I
where
was
it's at.
gonna
Yeah. I slept on it last night.
That's awesome.
It's an amazing boat. I love it.
On purpose?
It is so interestingly, the name of the boat is the Lucky Dog. I did not name it, but my wife has threatened to name it the Lucky Dog House if I don't stop spending so much time on it. So there you go.
I love it.
I hear the cool new bar in town for everybody, and especially boat owners, is Drift Bar.
Drift Bar. I was there last weekend. It was great. Like our brewery, sometimes the people who work there show up and sometimes they don't. No, I'm kidding. Actually, we went because we love smoked wings. And when we got there, the guy who makes the smoked wings was not there. So, but we had some amazing drinks. We happen to know the bartender there. And so if you have a boat, actually you can drive there as well. But
that's all I've ever done there.
Yeah, super encourage you to head out that way.
Anywhere you can go and arrive on a boat, it's cool.
It is cool.
It's cool. It adds a level for some reason. Yeah.
Okay, we're going.
Yeah.
Afterwards,
Right.
let's just head down the river.
Just get on the boat.
Yep.
As long as there's going to be smoked wings there. If not, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about tonight. Madelaine, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself too?
Yeah, so I am not from Louisville originally. I've been a little bit all over from the South, starting in Alabama, growing up in Tennessee, and then getting to Georgetown, Kentucky, which if you know anything about that, wasn't anything there when I grew up there, and found my way to Louisville because of Bellarmine and stayed here ever since because I love it here. Graduated business communications, started at ad agencies, moved on to a local brewery here in town where I worked from server to bartender to marketing and events manager, and now I'm at Biscabelli. So
You kind of seen it all.
I've done a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
but found my home in restaurants and really love it. And especially brunch. It's probably my favorite meal of the day.
Yeah.
Same.
Honestly.
The only downside of brunch is like after brunch, I never have as productive of a day as I would have if I saved it. But sometimes it's worth the trade-off, in my opinion.
See, for me, if I'm doing brunch, that is the only thing I'm doing that day. So I'm like,
Okay.
checked
Yeah.
off. That is the productivity for the day. We're done.
Yeah. Bottomless mimosas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Actually, that's the way to stay productive, is just to start the bottomless mimosa train and then
Yep.
use that throughout the rest of your day.
If your
Never-
plan is bottomless mimosas
Mhm.
and all you do is bottomless mimosas, you are
You're
extremely
golden.
productive.
You're golden.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
That's all there is.
Yeah,
That's-
you just have to set,
Yeah,
the
that's
right
what I'm
goals.
thinking, so.
So the reason I haven't been on the podcast in a few weeks, as you might have noticed, is that I've been doing some traveling for day job and for fun. To start off the show tonight, I wanted to bring some beers that I brought back from Fort Collins. We've got Floof from Purpose. I'll tell you a little story about Purpose. But John, do you want to read this label and kind of describe what we got here?
I love their logo, first of all. It's like a kind of like tree of Valhalla growing inside of a little acorn or whatever. It's really cool. So I've always kind of liked their brand just from a branding perspective. But yeah, Floof, ! Is a hoppy lager showcasing Barber Rouge, which we used a year or two ago in our Saison collaboration with Fall City. Shout out to Cameron. And Elixir hops, which I've never tried, from Comptoir Argerolles in Alsace, France. Floral with. Do you speak French, Madelaine? I think you might for some reason.
Yeah.
You
I
wanna-
thought you did.
you wanna-
I mean, just the way you
Agricole?
handled that.
how did you pronounce it? You think?
Comptoir Agricole.
Agricole.
I rolled my R. That is very Spanish. Sorry. I also, yeah.
From Alsace. Alsace. Okay. I never know if you're supposed to pronounce those last
France.
like two letters in these words. Floral with notes of lemongrass and black currants. 5.6% ABV. Best served fresh in proper glassware. I'm drinking it right out of this can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if you need to drink it out of glassware like it suggests. But the thing about this brewery though is that it is Purpose Brewing. If you're not familiar with it, it is in Fort Collins, probably about, I don't know, I'm going to say 5 miles, 10 miles, whatever. It's probably wrong, away from New Belgium. And the thing about that is the brewery was started by Peter Picard, who is the brewer that was brought over from Europe by the founders of New Belgium to start the brewing program at New Belgium. This is the dude that we can thank all, any kind of sour that you've had in America over the last 30 years. You can thank him for introducing to America pretty much and making that a popular style because of New Belgium. Once he left New Belgium, he was just like, I'm going to start my own little brewery. He mostly is doing sours, barrel-aged sours, but this is his one little Pilsner, and it's always been a good Pilsner. I always bring it back whenever I come home, and that's where I was the last couple of weeks in Fort Collins, so wanted to bring it back and share it with you all.
Cheers.
So
Hell yeah.
cheers to
Chink.
you all. Cheers to Peter. Cheers to Floof.
It's got a nice little Pilsner aroma. It's not incredibly aromatic or anything. You get that little bit of kind of Pilsner grain husk kind of bite coming off of it. And then I smell those little floral hops on top of that.
I was going to say it smells like super hoppy to me, but then it tastes really easy and smooth.
Yeah.
It's very floral.
Yes.
It's very
all I
floral.
get.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It drinks more like, what does it drink more like? Then I wouldn't, it's a hoppy Pilsner, obviously, but
Yeah, fruited saison.
yeah. I guess that's the Barber Rouge because that's kind of, we paired it with rhubarb when we did our collab because it kind of gave us that kind of like bright, earthy, herbal kind of vibe without getting as like dank or bitter as Saws. Barber Rouge, well, yeah, it's a French hop, I believe. It's really good. Barber Rouge. That's what I wanted to name that. Did we name it that?
We made the label art for it.
Yeah.
All
my good ideas get shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll sip on this for a while, but Rich, in the meantime, you're not a one-man brewery. You have some partners as well. So tell us a little bit about Kyros and
Yeah.
Kyros and
Kyros.
Kyros.
Kentucky Rose. Every other name
Kentucky
that it's been
Rose.
called so far. No. So it is owned by 3 couples, my wife and I, Cameron and I, and the Diaz, Taylor and Sarah, and the Sadies, Manouch and Gina Sadie. And believe it or not, the 6 of us met at church. And we just hit it off really well, and we love beer.
Hell
And
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we went with
That's
it.
awesome.
So it's been amazing.
Maybe
You know,
not hell yeah. Maybe like praise the
Well,
Lord.
I mean, they say hell in
Praise,
church.
Yeah.
yeah.
Praise
Right.
the Lord.
You know what I'm. Yeah. Just trying to stay out of trouble.
I
I was
love
gonna say,
it.
what kind of
It's
church
all
do you
good.
go to? Because I want to go to that one.
Well,
Yeah,
come on
yeah.
down. Kingdom Life is what it's called.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, they're great people. When we set out on this thing, we said, hey, this is going to be family first. And, you know, if the brewery starts to come between the friendship, then we get rid of the brewery. And it's been kind of interesting. People ask us all the time, why don't you have investors? And I said, have you ever made decisions family first? Sometimes they are not the ones that investors would make. So,
Yeah.
but they have been an amazing, amazing group of people, and we're just doing more life with them. So
That's great.
Tell
And
us-
what? Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what the name means and how you came to that name.
yeah, so it's a little. The story is a little longer than that, so I'll try and make it as quickly as I can, or tell it as quickly as I can. So, our master brewer Taylor Diaz obviously has been home brewing for quite some time, as has Manuch, and they brewed individually before they met each other. Met each other in Bowling Green and started brewing together. The beer was great. For whatever reason, they moved to Louisville, Kentucky about the same time, and I met them, and we all started brewing. I knew nothing about it, so really, I was just there to drink the beer. They were there to make the beer.
That's important
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, somebody's got to do it. So we spent a lot of time in Taylor's basement making lots of beer. And the friends that we have just, you know, they would go on and on about how good the beer was. And you know how that goes. Every homebrew person who has a single friend that says the beer is good decides that, well, we should open a brewery.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we talked about it for years, but it was not something that we really, I mean, it was a dream, right?
Mhm.
But then 2019 came along, COVID, and it was, in fact, the story, my wife and I, literally 4 days before they closed everything down, had our kitchen, our master bedroom, and our master bathroom completely ripped out to the studs.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was miserable.
Did you save the studs? Because you
Oh,
could have gotten about 400% return on those like
Yeah.
6 months
Through
later.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was it's one of those things where we were stuck inside, had no place to go. We're cooking in a microwave oven, living in the basement, but of course, construction was considered essential. So we had all of these people, all this noise, all this dust. It was crazy. That was March the 9th through May the 23rd.
Wow.
My wife's birthday weekend, when they basically said, you have to get out of the house because we have to redo the floors. And that's really where this story begins.
All right.
So
Okay.
the Manuch and his wife had, at the time, a big house down in the Highlands, and they always Airbnb'd the upstairs, but it was COVID, so nobody was there.
Mhm.
And they invited us to come and stay. About an hour after we arrived, Manuch shows up on the front porch. He's got, you know, what I always like to call, it's like the industrial strength gloves that, and a mask. And he was from me to, you know, it was probably 6 feet away. And he's yelling, you know, I know it's kind of dangerous right now. I don't know how you feel about all this, but my wife and I have to have some community. And so we're going to go sit on our covered back porch, and we're going to have some beer that we had homebrewed.
Hell yeah.
Thankfully, yes, praise the Lord. And I'm kidding, joking. And so he said, please, you know, we can social distance, but please, you know, come down. So we came down, and we spent 3-4 hours drinking beer and just talking. We called it porch time.
I love that.
Yeah, Cameron and I were supposed to be there for a grand total of 2 days. That 2 days turned into 2 weeks, and we did porch time every single night, rain or shine.
Wow.
And what started as 4 people turned into 28 people.
Wow.
And what you realize in those moments is that, man, you just need community.
Mhm.
You don't realize how much you need community until you don't have it.
Especially during COVID, that was the main message of all that. Like
really
it was, and everybody found. I feel like because you couldn't go to like large events, they weren't happening and whatnot.
Mhm.
But it kind of made everyone kind of go back to square one, and everybody found their little tribe of people that, you know, they were gonna. Actually, can't believe I'm about to say this. Dear God, I feel like Michael and David and I formed friendship during COVID. Oh God, this is just dawning on me. We started all of like a lot of this during COVID too. But yeah, you find those people that you can like, you know, yeah,
you do,
and then you start a business together for some reason.
No, hold on. We were already in planning for the business.
That's true.
But what we weren't doing is the podcast, I guess. And then we decided to start the podcast during COVID, but we wanted to do it safely.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yes.
And but yet we're still in person, so like there are unaired episodes of.
It's on YouTube. There's one on YouTube.
Are they finally on? Okay,
Yeah.
so
That's
basically,
amazing.
if you go back far enough, you can see like John is over there at the computer home base, and then
We built a plexiglass screen.
Oh, I love it.
and
It was like the Mike Pence like VP debates where they were like sitting in those little plexiglass boxes.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
yeah, like honestly, it probably didn't do anything for us. It was just kind of like,
Right.
hey, we're trying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is just saving face, honestly, because like then we would just pass beer like over the plexiglass to each other.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's
sorry
exactly
to
how
derail
it was,
that, but
yeah.
yeah. I feel like everybody can probably identify with that because we all went through it. You know, we all went through
100%.
it together. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, in fact, we were interviewed the other day by WHAS, and he asked, do you have any pictures of the actual porch time? And we didn't know how to answer that. We were like, should we say yes or should we say no? Because, you know, 28 people trying to social distance during that time was not all that effective. But
I'm not the Lord of the universe, but I feel like everybody gets amnesty from everything that happened during
Agreed.
COVID because we were just all like, what the fuck
what,
is going on?
makes
Like,
sense.
exactly
Yeah.
what in the world?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was amazing because, you know, that group of people was made up of every race, religion, sexual orientation, political viewpoint. And what was so amazing sitting there, the six of us, is that we talked about all of that. And there wasn't an argument won. Everybody's opinion mattered.
Mhm.
Everybody's, you know, viewpoint was taken into consideration. And it was just an amazing place. And it was one of those nights towards the end when we said to each other, you know, this is what we want. And so maybe we really should consider opening a brewery if
Mhm.
this is what that can create. And so to your question about Kyros, we set out to open a brewery for 2 years. Everything we tried did not work. We would start, we'd get excited, and one of the couples would have a child. Or, you know, we would, you know, it was just all of these things. And so it was stop and start, to the point where, you know, it was almost to a place where we said, you know, let's just keep home brewing. Well, one of the things they hated most was, and one of the most challenging things was the name. Literally, there was a list of 100 names, and I will admit I didn't like any of them. And I don't know why. None of them resonated with me.
It's like when you're trying to name your band in high school. It's
Exactly.
just like, you know, it's like, yeah. It's going to be your thing that you're going to be putting all your spirit and effort and energy into. So, yeah.
It's true.
It's like,
But-
like Louisville Ale Trail.
Yeah.
That name
Perfect
sucks.
name.
You're just going for the obvious
Lat.
solution. Yeah. Lat.
I
Yeah.
love it. Well, you know, one of the people who will remain unmentioned, he knows who he is,
Yeah.
decides that they're going to name our chat group, the six of us, something. And so every now and again it would change.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that it was named Kyros when all of a sudden, literally, I don't know how to explain it. Everything just sort of came together. We found space in Portland, which is where we were looking because that's where Taylor lives, our master brewer. We figured the space would be inexpensive. We had no plan to actually serve the beer there. We were just going to test this theory,
Sure.
this hypothesis, you know, whatever it was. Our friend said it was good, so let's see if we can sell the beer. If we do, then we'll start a tap room someplace. All these strange things. We had all of these financial windfalls, these weird windfalls, all three of it. So as we started to realize, oh my goodness, everything is coming together, Nooch starts texting out to everyone, do you all realize what the name Kyros means, what the word Kyros means? And I didn't, to be honest. And so he sent the definition, and in the Greek, it means the opportune moment. So you have chronos time that's constantly running, and then the Kyros time, which is this moment in time that is just perfect. And it's always depicted in the Greek by an archer. It's the moment you let the bowstring go and everything is propelled forward. And we were like, oh my word, this is the name. And so we thought, well, it would be fun to spell it with a KY, kind of give a nod to Kentucky. Turns out this is actually a spelling of a Greek word.
Oh, cool.
It means the sun or Cyrus. And as I said, one of the things that had happened along the way, people having children, about 4 months before all of this came about, Nooch and Gina had a young son that they named Cyrus, believe it or not. So we were like, wow, okay, this has to be the name. So that's in 15 minutes.
Hell yeah.
That's how we got the name. Praise the Lord.
That's perfect. Perfectly. Yeah. Well, that's a great story too. And it ties everything together. And, you guys make beer, but it's a community space, it sounds like, first and foremost.
Very much.
You talked about a little bit ago, like this would never make sense from like a BlackRock capital, like investment standpoint, because they're focused on the bottom line. But you guys are focused on the bottom line too. It's just that the bottom line is different.
The bottom line is different for us. We've said all along, let's focus on the people. Let's create a space that they want to come and be at, where they feel like family, and let's make good beer so that they can enjoy themselves while they're there. Taylor has always said, he envisioned this tap room where he said in the front space it's where customers become friends. And on the back porch, that's where friends become family. We just started on the back porch. So
that's funny. I thought you were going to say where friends become enemies. And I was like, let's roll.
That happens sometimes too. Then you hug it out.
Sorry.
But you all had no intention of starting that as a tap room when you were first brewing there?
We did not. We wanted to test the theory, literally. And we thought, if we're making beer, we can't really sell it to all of our friends, and we're watching all of our friends drink all of this beer. And so we thought, well, man, let's get a license.
Let's charge them for it.
And let's charge them for it.
Yeah.
And so we only needed a space big enough that friends and family could come hang out for the 6 or 8 hours it takes to brew a really good beer, right? And so somewhere, I guess it was because in order to open a brewery or something like that, we had to put an ad in the
Courier Journal.
Yes, the Courier Journal, right. Inviting any of the neighbors to complain if they wanted to. Thankfully, no one did.
Because nobody subscribes to the Courier Journal anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Thank God they didn't put it on the internet.
Shots fired.
So we had Business First roll in, and then we had the Courier Journal roll in, and all of a sudden, everybody just got really excited that there was going to be a brewery opening deep in Portland. And our social media went crazy. I mean, literally, we went from 0 to 350, 400 in a weekend. Mm-hmm. And everybody was going on and on about, can't wait until you open. What's your opening day? Can't wait to come and drink beer. We thought, this is exciting. And then we finished the space, and we got the max occupancy from the fire department. It was 9, a total of 9 people, which was perfect for what we had planned, but not perfect for what has transpired. So quickly, we shifted gears. We built a 6-foot privacy fence around what used to be this terrible, terrible parking lot. Cleaned it all up, ate up all the weeds, pulled these. Wow, it was terrible. I can't even. If you had seen pictures of it, you would think, no, this is not the same space. So that's where we're at. And
a little side by side on the video.
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Before and afters are one of my favorite things anyway.
Same,
so.
absolutely.
Truly.
So I just see on this secret beer garden. So that's what you're talking about here.
Correct.
So are there lights, lights?
There
back
are.
there? Okay, that's all I really care about.
Yes, there were twinkle lights.
Vibes.
It's what it's called. I don't know.
Vibes.
And so,
Vibes.
like
Music.
picnic tables.
Tables.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Shelter, shelter. Wow, it sounds like a need, right? But no, it's like so that if it
cover.
rains,
Mhm.
you can still drink beer.
Oh, cool.
Which is-
Are you dog friendly?
We are very dog friendly.
Oh, good. Okay.
My wife may suggest otherwise after a couple of weekends ago. She got bit by a
goodness.
dog. Yes,
no.
but she loves them. So.
Well,
Folks, it's cool to take your dogs to breweries, but if your dog, if your
Yeah.
dog is a special child, don't take him to a brewery.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful dog, and
Yeah.
we would welcome them back. We just wouldn't pet them.
Yeah.
It's fair point. Fair point. Well,
Come on,
my
people.
dog would never bite your wife, so I will
No, that's
bring him
okay.
by to
That's
see you
great.
guys.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it was
How about cats? You cat friendly?
cat friendly. They just have to, if they come on a leash.
Okay, perfect.
Cats aren't friendly, so you can just be
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
cat approved is
You've
like
never met my cat Franklin, and
Okay.
he would beg to differ. He is the friendliest cat. He's like a dog.
Do you walk him on a
legitimately.
leash?
I've tried. It doesn't work very well. Only in the backyard because
As
I'm
long
too
as he doesn't
embarrassed.
rub up against my leg, because I'm highly allergic.
Yeah.
All right, well, we
He
like
will.
Franklin.
Sorry, yeah. He's got a little mustache, so yeah,
Ooh,
you
okay.
would really like him.
All right.
Yeah.
But
All right.
but to your point though, it was really funny. The first time I ever went there, I did have a little bit of a problem in finding the place.
Yes.
which I think some people find an appeal in.
Well, we panicked. Literally, our sign is in an alley. You cannot get to our brewery without going through Tyler Avenue or Tyler. It's called Tyler Avenue.
Yeah.
It's really
It's
a brick
Tyler
alley.
Alley.
Yeah, exactly. The
You should,
first,
like- oh, I'm so sorry.
No, please.
I'm just like, you should do a whole series of like, can you find Kyros? And,
Yeah.
Like, have stickers and like send it around. And
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, we have the first couple. Actually, it was 4 people. They said we literally drove around the block 4 times before we saw your sign. And I said, I am so sorry. And they said, what are you talking about? That's so cool. It's like a secret beer
treasure.
garden. It
Yeah.
truly is like this, people see it as kind of the speakeasy
Yeah,
in Portland.
We
Yeah.
love that. It's all about experience.
people love speakeasies now. It's so in.
It's true.
You got
I'll
Hotel
say-
Genevieve and their speakeasy and
Yeah.
everything that's cool. So
Mhm.
When you finally find the place after that, then it does feel like you're way cooler than all of your friends, because then they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we went to Kyros, and like, yeah, you just kind of go through this little area, and it's like, I remember like that used to be like in Asheville, like 12, 13 years ago or whatever. There was like you'd have to walk in between some buildings,
Yes.
and you'd like go behind a thing, and you go down 2 flights of stairs and through like this corridor, and then you go into a little brewery. But that made it be like, you felt really cool because
Yeah.
you knew about it. And if the beer was good, then it's like your new favorite place.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you put in the effort to get
Yes.
there. Yeah.
Well, we literally there's a group of bikers who come from Jeff, and they ride down almost every time we're open. Lori Cheek, thank you.
right, we got riding fun.
So, yes. So,
shout out Lori Cheeks.
So, they do a ride, I guess, in the wintertime on Tuesdays called a brick alley bicycle ride. Well, our brewery happens to be on a brick alley. I had no idea who they were or why. Darren was filming the brick alley, but when I found out, it was pretty cool. The point of this is they brought so many people to the brewery on bicycles. And I'm sitting out there a couple of weeks ago with them all, and I said, hey, great news. I think we're going to get the front space. Everyone looked dejected. I was like, is that not good news? And they said, well, the back is going to stay the same, right? Like this space is not changing. And I said, well, no, it's not going to change. And they said, maybe you don't understand. Are you going to be able to access the back space from the front space? And I said, well, I would think so. And they were like, that's no good.
I don't want you to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
I want this to be my secret.
But that is what people have said. It's just a really neat space. They like the fact that you have to know where it is kind of to get to it.
And I would think, too, one of the cool things about Portland is that it does seem so much more like there's so much more bike culture going on out in Portland for some reason. And I think it's just because it's close to the waterfront and all this great trail. Yeah, exactly. And it is a little bit safer than driving around through the Highlands and stuff like that. But that does kind of speak to the culture going on in Portland as a whole. It seems like Portland's been trying for a while, and everybody's got their opinions about it. But there are businesses opening up. You guys aren't the only ones that are down there
Agreed.
these
Yep.
days. Do you have any neighbors and friends or other small
Absolutely.
business folks y'all have met around there? Just your views on the neighborhood as a whole?
Oh, so as I said, I graduated across the street. I won't tell you how long ago that was, but I did say I had grandkids. So
It's long enough to when Portland Christian was still in Portland.
That's correct. Yes. So yes. And truth be told, they were saying that Portland was the up and coming neighborhood then. So, but I would say that the great thing about Portland is really the community of Portland is not what you think, right? When you envision Portland, you probably envision something different than what Portland actually is. The people who have made up the community of Portland for so long, the OGs, we call them, they are so passionate about that community. They are such good people, and they have come and just literally have poured out their gratitude to us for being down there. We're just grateful that we've been accepted into the community, right? But across the street, there's some new retail space going up. There's going to be a donut shop going in.
Shut up.
Right?
What is it called?
I don't have any idea. Donut shop is the end of it.
I'll
Donut
be
belly.
there.
Donut belly.
They will be sued.
They are
so
probably
fast.
in need of
I'm
you.
Just kidding. In need of me?
In need of you.
Oh, in need of me. They probably are.
Yeah.
I could eat a lot of donuts.
Maybe they,
I have such
that's
a big
not
sweet
what I
tooth.
meant. What I meant is they might need a graphic artist to help you
Oh yeah.
name.
Marketing mind.
If I was opening up a donut
I
shop
got
in
you guys.
Portland, I would just call it Donut Shop, and that's what it would
That's
say.
all you
like,
need.
yeah, that sounds legit as
There
hell.
you go. That's it.
Like, I don't want something fancy
It's
down
like
there. I just
you
want like
live
the good
there.
shit.
You-
Yeah.
That is exactly
Yes.
what they should
Yeah.
name it.
That's amazing.
But it's amazing, you know, the owner of that donut shop was in the brewery the other day. Amazing lady. And, you know, she said, hey, what if we do like a donut beer pairing?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's things like that coming. We had another lady from down in Portland who, she's a big cigar smoker. She is a part of a group of big cigar let me say that different. She is a part of a big cigar smoking group.
Yeah, sure. She's a cigar enthusiast.
She is.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't smoke big cigars. It's just a big group. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. So,
Gotcha.
she
Never mind.
Yeah. I'm now picturing Madame Blavatsky for some
Yeah.
reason.
All right.
but,
There we go.
like,
That's it. Yep.
Anywho.
Anyway, so
That
this
place is-
woman who
that will
loves
be on Patreon.
to- yes.
Well, we have so we've got some events planned.
Nice.
You know, some things like come smoke cigars and drink beer with us. We had some live music this past week. It was pretty amazing, and yeah, it's just been amazing.
Heck yeah.
Very cool.
Well, thinking about eating all those donuts has kind of like piqued my appetite a little bit. We have a segment on the show that we like to do, thanks to friend of the show, supporter of the show, Underberg. You guys feel like taking a little berg break with us?
I want to know if Madelaine can pronounce that.
Underberg?
Oh, nice.
We're all Underberg
Wunderberg.
aficionados, but we might have someone on the show this week. I think it's a first for the show who's never had an Underberg.
I've never had it.
Yeah.
You want to explain it?
One of my favorite things to do in this universe is to have an Underberg with somebody that's not had one before, and to share one with them. So some people like sharing beers on back porches together during COVID. I like sharing Underberg with people on podcasts.
I love that. But
so
it
this
does
is my-
say
That's what
after
it
a
says
good
in
meal, and I
Michael's
haven't
dating
yet
profile.
eaten.
So whether it's a
Oh,
good
no.
meal or a beer and a bourbon, whatever, you know, it's basically just to settle the stomach so you can keep going. Literally, whether it's alcohol or not, if you just feel a little full, this is a good little break. And so this is the Berg break part of the show. You'll notice. Actually, why don't you describe this bottle for us, since you're seeing it with naked eyes for the first time?
So describe the bottle or
Yeah.
like the experience?
Both,
of it?
but
Okay,
the
so
bottle, but the bottle first.
The bottle is small. It's very much like a hot sauce bottle.
Mhm.
Shout out to my wife Cameron. She loves hot sauce.
Hell yeah.
And it's very difficult to get into.
If you just twist, the whole thing
There's-
kind of
there's-
comes
there-
off.
there's a
So
method.
you don't
Yeah.
actually. Oh,
My
It's
wow.
like a
my hands
Christmas
aren't that
popper.
Strong, so I just
Yeah, I
peeled
didn't.
it
Mine
off.
are,
It's like
apparently mine
it's
aren't
like you're
either.
paper
Again,
bagging a tiny
my
beer.
age is showing here. Okay, so it is like the tiniest little. I don't know. It almost reminds me of a maple syrup bottle,
Mhm.
only about 3 inches.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Michael. You look really eager.
Oh, that's great to me. Yeah,
There's no
It's a maple
larger
syrup bottle.
Underberg fan on the planet than Michael Moeller. You are sitting in the presence of Underberg royalty.
Yes,
He
I
has
gotta
an Underberg
say,
So is this
bandolier.
like a shot where, like, if you stop halfway in between, like
No.
before it's finished?
So what? So there's a little text here on the side. It says Underberg is an herb bitters taken for digestion. It is not a beverage, not to be sipped, but taken all at once and quickly because of its aromatic, strong taste. It is also used as flavoring. And you know, this is like a very old beverage.
German, tying into that ancient like
This is
history.
5 generations of excellence, and it was founded in 1848. So what you do is, after you cheers each other as you just did,
It smells great.
because of the little small bottle and the small opening, you're going to want to tip it at 45 degree angle into your mouth. And what I do is I let it pull underneath my tongue, and then I take it all at once after the bottle's empty.
Wow, you were right.
This
He
one's
is an
going on the
aficionado.
OnlyFans part as well. That's
Yes,
yeah.
taking it all at
45
once.
degree angle, let it pull underneath the tongue.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh lordy, yeah. I'm pretty sure
Cheers
Michael
to
also
everyone.
made me take an Underberg for the first time.
Probably me too,
Yeah,
honestly. Yeah.
It's kind of my shtick.
It's kind of a shtick,
well,
yeah.
It's his brand, so.
And we're all so grateful.
all right,
Cheers,
are we
y'all.
doing this together?
Let's
Yeah,
do it.
cheers.
Cheers.
You hear that glug, 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 glug as it comes out.
So digestif, those little herbal bitters all have their own little like
It's so spicy.
prebiotic.
Oh my
Like
God.
yeah, it's a
I don't know
opens
if
your
I
eyes
did.
up.
I don't know if that was actually a 45 degree angle for me, but I would have another one.
There you go. Yeah.
It settles you, makes you feel bright and alert is like what we've come to say as a
Yeah.
tagline on the show.
Oh.
Yeah, it just kind of cleanses your palate. Also, like as it goes down your into your stomach, like it just makes you feel warm and like really nice inside. Just like wow, I can keep going after all.
And
also,
the actual cool thing is if you save the caps, you can get amazing Underberg swag. And as far as like swag companies go, they have the best swag out there.
This
We
is
have a
true
giant
reason.
box of it somewhere, but you've
Yeah.
got like a bandolier where you can like stick a few in your pocket for beer festivals. They've got like beer trays, glassware, you name it. Like they've got it.
as I'm looking around for the swag,
Oh,
right
they're
now,
in
I
the.
don't-
Yeah, we have some somewhere.
we have swag around here somewhere, as you can see on camera.
Backpacks, lunch boxes.
But it's all recycled material from the caps too, so you can kind of turn those in for those things. And if you're a brewery owner in Louisville, I would highly recommend that you carry Underberg for your patrons,
Same.
namely me.
yeah.
Wow.
If not,
No,
he
I-
probably has one in his pocket. So,
Also true.
is that an Underberg in your pocket, or
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
That's insulting.
Yeah,
That's
Madelaine.
insulting.
Yes.
3
It's
inches.
insulting.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I gotta
It's
go.
cool. I don't know. Louisville's kind of becoming an Underberg town too. I
This
think.
is
You
what
see
I
it in
brought
more and
in.
more places.
Right, yes.
Yeah, that's good stuff too.
Well, okay. So speaking of that, moving into our show and tell segment, we ask all of our guests to bring in a couple different items for us to show off their personalities, one beverage related and one not. And before even the show started, you shared something with us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is?
So, I am a giant bourbon. Well, again, let me rephrase. I am a fan, very
Giant,
large fan.
bourbons.
Giant
Yes, a
bourbons.
fan of giant bourbons. I am a big fan of bourbon, and one of my favorites is this McKenna 10-year. And I would just go on record as saying that I bought a lot more of it, like when it was less expensive.
Mhm.
And so,
It was like
for those of you out
$39.99.
Mhm.
there who make this,
How much is it now?
I would have bought 2 of them at $49.99,
Mm.
but I only buy one at $70. So just consider that.
Inflation hits the alcohol market too, folks. Although I think it might be more like hype supply and demand than it is
Yeah.
That
inflation at this
is,
point.
it is.
Yeah.
Resale.
Right.
Yeah,
So don't drink
exactly.
it. It's terrible. I don't think you should.
Yeah.
If you don't, yeah.
We're here to tell you what not to do, folks.
But it's amazing. Again, 10 years aged, and you don't find too many of those. $70,
Yeah.
and it is delicious.
Gen-
I'll try a little more. We had a little nip of
Delicious.
it before the pod, but it's just 100 proof. It's very aromatic. To me, it smells very smooth, and then it finishes very warming.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's kind of like Underberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yeah, Underberg, Kyros. You know.
yeah. Words are hard.
Words are hard.
How did you first get introduced to McKenna? Do you have a specific memory tied to it, or is it just something you found out one day and like your bourbon stash, and you're like, oh, I like this after all?
So interestingly enough, I am one of those guys who doesn't like to go in and just start asking people what's good. I like to watch what people actually come in and buy. And, if the first thing, well, I can't say that. Let's just say that if they pick up certain bourbons, then that's not who I watch. But if they kind of peruse and they're looking at some of the things that I like, I always like to watch what they leave with. And I was I was at a place looking for a new bourbon, and there were several people who were coming in, and they were snatching this up, as quickly as any other allocated bourbon that I had ever seen, and I had never tasted it. And so I picked one up, walked up to the counter like I do, found the guy that looked like, or girl who looked like they knew the most about bourbon, and I asked, and they just went on and on and on about it. And I took it home, drank it. It is, as you would admit, it's really good. So that's how it came about.
That's a nice strategy. I like that we're playing the "How does Rich buy bourbon" game. So, like, what stores are you going to in Louisville? Do you want to drop those hints, or do you have like some proprietary information that you don't want to share right now?
Kroger.
Actually,
Kroger Goss.
Kroger Goss is good. Yeah,
that's where I get my groceries. So
Kroger Goss,
yeah,
hipster Kroger.
Hipster Kroger.
Is that the dirty Kroger?
No, dirty Kroger's
Brownsboro.
Oh yeah.
Sorry for people who live on Brownsboro.
Yeah,
they know it.
They
know. It's just the layout. Honestly, it's just the feng shui is off, guys.
They did change it like a while ago.
Yeah, like 10 years ago. But the name sticks.
Who's counting?
There used to be a place right around the corner from me. It was called Party Source at the time. It's now been acquired by Cox. And
what is that, Westport?
This one was on. Well, if I tell you all of the secrets, actually, my favorite person there got let go. Shame on you all. It's the one right on Shelbyville Road, right at Shelbyville and Moser.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
My parents live out that way.
Yep. And they were always very good to me.
Oh, I've been to that old Party Mart. That's a great
Party
store.
Mart. That's it.
They had they had a really good little beer cave too. They'd always keep a lot of, even back in the, because I would buy beer there like 10 years ago or whatever, but like they would always have a good selection of local before even drinking local was cool.
Exactly.
And wine too. They'd always have local Kentucky wines and stuff like that. So yeah, shout out.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because truly some of the local breweries I found out about in their beer cave.
Yeah, same here. And they'd have good people to talk to you about it too.
Really
Yeah, they'd see you looking around and be like, "You find what you need?"
That was then, before you got rid of my favorite person.
How dare you?
Keep your eye on the bottom line, folks.
Yeah.
Remember what the bottom line actually
Family
is.
first.
People.
Yeah, family first.
That's
People.
right.
Mhm.
Madelaine, where are you shopping these days?
In general or for drinks?
Drinks.
Okay. Well, first of all, I am a Total Wine girly because I love Total Wine. I don't know what it is. They have a good local beer selection. They have everything. Feng shui. They have those fun little displays. You can even probably make a full charcuterie board by the time that you're leaving.
100%.
And it's just great overall, But pro tip. So I went to Spain for my birthday last year, Spain and France. And there was this sangria. I actually had it with you on my porch.
That's right.
And
Porch time.
All coming together.
Time.
Yeah,
Yes, I have a decent porch. But yeah, so it's called Lolea, and it's like a sangria in a bottle, pretty much. And the only place I can find it is, surprise, World Market. And I actually like their wine selection. It's pretty decent. So.
I fuck with World Market.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And they have, oh man, you guys have given me too much to drink after not drinking for a minute.
You haven't drank any of the bourbon.
What's it called? Sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
They
Japanese,
have
rice wine.
Yes, yeah. So they have a really good selection there. And, honestly, Costco. So.
All right.
Costco's good. Costco's fun.
So those are my top three probably. And Kroger Goss, obviously, because shout out.
Yeah. I just drink homebrew and garage beer, and I go to Liquor World or Kroger. I don't do anything.
And Great
How do you know the
because
homebrewers? No, I'm kidding.
It's across
They
the
come
street
here.
from my house.
Like this is the hub.
Yeah.
I am going to jump on the Costco train.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah.
My wife is like, I like bourbon. My wife loves tequila.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry I'm about to do this, Cameron.
Me and your
but
wife can hang out together.
truly.
Yeah. Can you introduce us?
Yes.
Cool. Thanks.
Actually, I don't have. My wife has been hit on in front of me more than I've been hit on ever by women.
That tracks.
So, it's their, believe it or not, their Kirkland Añejo
Huh.
tequila,
No way.
believe it or not, maybe the best I have ever had. You can literally pour it in a glass
Okay.
and drink it. It's
Well,
so
I
good.
don't have a Costco membership, so shout out to my friend Lizzie because she takes me.
Oh,
and
see,
so
you had
Lizzie,
a chance right there.
We're gonna go to Costco and get some Añejo. Let's
You had a chance.
roll.
You could have said, shout out to my new friend,
My
Cameron.
new friend Cameron, we're going to Costco.
Yeah, it's happening.
There you go. Much like MGP in Indiana making all the different rye whiskeys in the world, I am sorry to say that there are only a handful of tequila distilleries in Mexico. And so many of the tequila distilleries, like all the tequila brands that you see on the shelf, are all coming from like one of,
Oh, really?
10,
Yeah.
12, 15
And people
places.
just treat it. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's all just treated
It's all
differently.
marketing.
It's all different.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Those devils.
That's why I believe, like, if there's a Kirkland brand, like Añejo out there, like, it's probably delicious because it's probably coming from someplace that's maybe even high end too.
Yeah,
Because
like
Costco
number
is
one
very
tequila.
particular about
Yeah.
the brands that they have for their signature. Like
And they buy shit tons of it.
It's delicious.
lots.
Like,
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
know that the volume's going to be good.
I
Yeah.
will say we have had like those Costco premixed margaritas on like for nights out hanging out.
you don't have to make
the
excuses for
bosses.
drinking Costco margaritas.
Listen, well, I mean, it's like a work get together. And,
Hell yeah.
Sure it is,
So we love a good Costco margarita too.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Yeah.
now we got to get the straight tequila. Though.
My wife is going to listen to this, and she is a huge margarita fan.
Listen,
so
I'm coming over for porch night.
come
so-
on,
Yes,
come to
yes.
porch time, please.
I would love to know which margarita you all think you are, whether they're
Oh.
like peach margaritas or just regular lime margaritas or strawberry margaritas. But I think John has a better game for us than that.
Well, that's pretty Freudian.
no.
Like that could go into Jungian
and I have
analysis.
a great one for
Let's
me.
do it. Do it.
Oh,
Do it. Do it.
let's-
I think that I am a jalapeno mango margarita because you will get like 4 different flavors at once. You don't know what's happening to you.
I love it.
And you just don't know which flavor you're going to get.
You
that
have to
day.
come to our brewery. We're about to do a mango habanero
Shut up.
cider.
This was meant
That
to
sounds
be.
amazing. That sounds very,
Meant
very
to
good.
be. This is the
Sorry, Taylor.
Kairos of moments. So
This is the
Oh,
Kairos. Yes.
look at
Ooh.
that.
I'm going to
Yes,
become a
I
regular,
am.
Wow.
which means a lot because I really only go to like 2 breweries because they're 3 because they're walking distance from my house.
And you said it right. So
And I said it right.
Kyros. Well, all the great ancient Greek mythology nerds like are mad, but the people in Kentucky here are fine. But speaking of ancient Greek mythology, we picked margarita flavors. We were curious if you're into this like new age. We talked about Madame Blavatsky briefly during the Cigar Lady segment. But
Briefly, it was a mention, yeah.
yeah. We have prepared a segment for you to figure out which ancient Greek god or goddess might best match your personality.
when you say you, do you mean like me?
Yes.
You.
Oh,
This is-
my
this is-
goodness.
This is you're the guest. You're the
Okay.
special
This
guest.
is amazing.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the first question too, and I'm really excited to know what you choose.
We will post the link to this BuzzFeed quiz in the show notes. So if you guys want to go and take it, post your results.
By the way, I have to point out, we always say that we're going to post something in the show notes,
Oh yeah,
and we never do.
this
Well, now
time's
you
gonna be
can.
different.
Find out yourselves.
Find it.
Which
called
god or
Google.
goddess from ancient Greek mythology are you? Are
Wait,
you more like Aphrodite, the goddess of love, or Ares, the god of war? We're about to
Oh,
find
my.
out, folks.
So
From the
that's-
founder
that's-
of Kyros.
So that's the first question.
No.
out of the
That
gate.
that's just the introduction
Oh,
paragraph.
okay.
Oh,
The first
I was ready to
question
answer.
Series.
is, if you would please, pick a mythological creature. You may choose from Cerberus, the 3-headed dog. I think that was the guardian of Hades crossing the river Styx. The Hydra, the multi-headed beast. Every time you chop off a head, the head grows back. The Centaur, the most famous of which was Chiron, the mentor of like Hercules and Pericles and all those folks. The unicorn, the mermaid, which I'm not sure if it's from Greek mythology or not, but we're going to go with it. Or the griffin. Do you have a creature from mythology that you feel best represents you, or that you are most aligned with spiritually, cosmically, or historically?
Wow. This is tough. This is tough. I feel like
there's
I
a lot riding on
yeah, I
this.
feel like I
you.
did better in school than this. I'm going to say the griffin.
Wow. I could see that. I felt that.
You felt that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Griffin.
Approved.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate, or you just want to let it ride?
I think I don't know.
It looks cool.
I think of all
Yeah.
of them, it's the coolest looking. Yes, and I've always wanted to look cool.
And you mentioned, enjoying elements of Christianity, which I also really think are cool. Griffins feature very prominently in a lot of the early Greco-Christian Orthodox stories and whatnot.
Now, I would say that if the rest of the Kyros team were here, they'd be sorely disappointed that I didn't choose the centaur, given that he's holding
the bow and arrow.
The bow and arrow,
Yeah,
you're right.
Mm-hmm.
This is about you.
I know.
This is about you.
This is about me.
Yeah.
Pick a fruit to serve at your feast.
Ooh.
You can
Also
choose.
as a margarita.
Yeah, or as your margarita flavor. Apple, banana, watermelon, mango, pear, or cherry.
Have you had Kyros mango smash?
No.
Okay, I pick mango.
Let's go.
You mean the
What's a smash?
Mangalorean?
The Mangalorian,
Yeah.
yes.
I love that. Oh, yes.
Yes.
I saw your
Smash is
can
a
art.
single malt and single hop.
Oh my gosh. I literally worked at a brewery. I knew that. I don't know why.
Well, when you say mango smash, then it's
I was
like
they're smashing mangoes and putting it in beer.
Yes.
I didn't make the connection either. So
Okay, thank you.
pick the color that you'd like to be associated with.
Ooh.
Purple, pink, yellow, green, orange, or light blue.
So if it were any other color than light blue,
Mm-hmm.
I would pick blue.
Okay.
Mm.
But,
I think we can just kind of go with that.
okay, we'll go with blue.
Yeah, I flipped my screen and now I've flipped everything on its head here. We'll get back to here,
Yeah, I
folks.
totally think you're in a whole different
There we
universe
go.
now. Yeah, I'm going to say blue.
Pick your favorite movie about Greek mythology. So that animated movie, was it Disney movie or Pixar?
Disney.
Hercules?
Yes.
Yeah. Troy with Brad Pitt and Orlando Bloom, kind of a cool movie, kind of weird, but maybe you just like the story of the Trojan War in general. 300, the classic. Who directed that? It's the guy who went on to do a bunch of different weird stuff over the years.
But it was Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler was the main
Oh,
dude. Yeah.
nice.
Definitely pick Scottish
Very
people.
sexy.
So movies are a thing too.
Especially in that movie.
These are a thing.
Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which I believe is a book series. I have to admit I've not seen
Yeah,
this
it
or
is.
read these.
Yeah, it is.
The Lightning Thief, which sounds like it's based on Prometheus. Are you familiar with it?
I've seen it,
Okay.
and I knew it was a book series, and my friend really liked it. So
Got
I know enough.
Alexander, that had Colin Farrell. I always mix up Colin Farrell and Colin Firth. Colin Farrell is the guy from Alexander. Colin Farrell. He's the Irishman.
Yeah.
And then the last entry,
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Yeah, based on the island of the Amazon.
I'll
I
take
didn't
that as some
expect that
Greek
to be
goddess
there.
stuff.
But
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's all. It's all in the
It's in the universe. Yeah.
Diana and
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
So Hercules, Troy, 300, Percy Jackson, Alexander, or Wonder Woman.
Have you seen 300?
That's amazing.
I think it's a fantastic.
Yeah,
movie.
I mean-
I would pick 300.
Yeah, me too. When I was in high school, I think is
No,
probably
you
when
don't-
that
you
movie came
disagree?
out.
Well, first of all, I haven't seen half those movies because I'm not a big. I'm like Patrick. I live under a rock, and
Okay, so you like
yeah.
Hercules.
Yes,
Yeah,
I mean, Hercules is good, dude.
I mean, I've based
Hercules is
half
good.
of my
It is good.
personality off of Meg, so
Yeah, she's cool,
Yeah,
man. She was
she's
like a
so
great,
cool.
Yeah.
won't say I'm in love. Will never commit to you. Don't talk to me.
The modern woman in many ways.
Sheesh.
Says the person who's been in a relationship for a long time, but it's fine.
If you please, could you pick a Roman deity to be your BFF? Diana, goddess of the hunt. Neptune, the god of the sea, Poseidon in the Greek version. Demeter, the goddess of the harvest. I think that is from Greek. I don't know what the Roman version is. Mercury, the messenger of the gods. That's Hermes in Greek mythology. Cupid, the god of love and attraction. I think we all know Cupid. And then Persephone, the queen of the underworld. Do you have one that stands out to you here?
I like Neptune. I mean, we talked about the fact that I have a boat,
Yeah.
and so
Everything's cooler when you grow up on a boat.
I love the sea. And my wife's from Florida, so
I just want to call this
we love
episode
that.
"I Love the Sea." Now,
What part of Florida?
she is from a little town right between Daytona Beach and Orlando
Okay, yeah, I used
called
to.
DeLand.
Okay,
Yes.
fun.
all right, Madeline, you've established that she's your new best friend.
Yes.
Okay, you don't have to
Sorry,
keep
I'm
rubbing
just
it in.
trying
in.
to find more reasons that we could connect to each other. So I used to vacation in Daytona when I was a child. So
I love Daytona Beach. They go to New Smyrna Beach, which is the shark
Oh,
bite
yeah.
capital of the world.
Oh, really?
Look it up.
I believe it.
Fun.
Rich, could you pick a cat to be
I
your loyal
cannot.
pet?
Nope.
You have to
You're
pick
You're
allergic.
one.
allergic,
Oh,
so
my
you
word.
have to go with that one because you're allergic.
Oh yeah, the hairless ones.
Yeah.
No hair.
I'll pick the hairless
It's a
one.
naked
yeah,
kitty.
naked kitty.
The scariest
Damn
of
it!
them
You guys,
all.
I didn't.
The
Okay.
scariest one of them all is the
But
one
he's
that you're
pretty
picking.
cute. He's got really big ears.
I love the
Yeah,
ears.
aren't those called like Sphinx cats or something? Yeah. That's
Staying
cool.
with the Greek thing.
I don't know though. He kind of looks like
You mean
he's
Egyptian?
disappointed in me.
Yeah, sure.
He's
Oh,
like
that's called being a cat. I think.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a Greek word. Greek goddesses.
Said Sphinx. I don't know.
Now pick a dog to be your
Oh.
faithful companion. You've
Okay.
got like a little long hair fluff boy. You've got a little
Beagle.
beagle
The
boy.
beagle.
Husky.
American Eskimo Husky. We got a little like a Frenchy flat face. Frankie's back there. No, Frankie's at home today. I didn't work today. There's usually a Boston Terrier here, but he's at home with mom today. Sorry.
Dare you.
We got a little corgi dude, or we got like a little kind of dachshund guy with a little tennis ball.
Wiener
Okay, so
dog.
here's the thing. You asked me to tell you a little bit about me.
It's true.
We didn't get this deep, right? But
But
my
we are
wife,
That's why we did
my
the Greek god
wife is a
segment.
rescuer of dogs.
Okay.
And so we, over the course of 33 years, have owned 17 dogs,
No,
something along those lines.
at once.
No, I said we've been married for 33 years. So,
Fair.
but the dog that we currently have is like a Kyros icon. Like she was on Dogs of Louisville the other day in front of the Kyros sign. She is a smash-faced Boston Terrier.
All right.
She's about this big, and her name is Layla. So I picked the
Layla.
That's a great
Smash-faced
dog
It's
name.
always on my mind.
Have you been in the
Good
homebrew shop
dogs.
before when Frankie the boss is back here?
I have not.
He's-
but
you
I'm
you
going
don't
to-
usually don't see him. He just lays under that blanket and sleeps all day. People don't know
actually,
he's here.
Yes, I have. No, but I was in here today where I. There it is. That's
Oh,
Layla.
I love him.
That's
Oh,
cute.
is that look? She's so
All right.
cute.
You guys need to be seeing this. Link in the show notes.
Aw.
I will say, I'm going to
Not
be
linked in
honest
the show
because
notes.
if I don't, I literally will get called out on this tonight. But when I went home, so the story of Layla, we had a dog for 15 years, something like that, passed away.
Mhm.
Dogs are way more fun in the early days than they are in the,
It's so
in the
sad.
latter days,
Yeah.
right? So I said, and my wife agreed, no more dogs, right? 6 months
Lies.
into no more dogs, I started getting texts.
Pictures
all-
of dogs.
Yes. You know that.
This has
This
happened
is
to me.
Literally our best friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the
Sup,
last
Kimmy?
picture was of Layla, who, if you can see her,
It's very small.
Right. I didn't say anything. And so I get a text the next day that says, "Hey, I'm very serious about this one." I didn't say anything. So I get a phone call. And she says, "Hey, did you see the text?" And I'm like, "Of the dog?" "Yes. What do you think?" I'm like, "Listen, we've agreed no more dogs. But I'm only 50% of the decision."
Mhm.
And so, and as I started to speak the rest of the words, I'm interrupted by a bank teller on the other side of the phone that says, "Ma'am, would you like those bills in $100? I'm like, "Cameron,
Ah.
you're going to get the dog, aren't you?" "Well, I'm going to see it."
Uh-huh.
So
Just
now we
take
have
the money just
Layla.
in
I'm very happy. I
case.
walked in. She said, "I have a dog. I got a dog." I'm like, "Where is it?" She's 4 pounds.
Oh,
She's amazing.
Obsessed.
I like her. I really do. It's probably my favorite dog so far.
yeah.
Love
They're
that.
they're funny little shitheads. Like I love them
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
They really are.
But I do remember coming in
uh-huh.
and the dog being back here. Today I almost got eaten.
Yeah. You came in when Leo, our
yeah,
big
yeah, that's
guard
right.
dog was
Yes.
here. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. We'll put a link to a picture of Leo in the show notes as well.
We won't do that. It's too much work.
Listen,
All right, we
and
have
if
a-
Dogs of Louisville is listening to this,
we got you.
how
Thank you.
dare you not post my dog?
Yeah.
First of all, I know we don't know each other, but
Yeah.
Hamilton's a beautiful dog.
What is Hamilton?
He is a mutt. He was rescued. So
Honestly, he looks a lot like Leo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like part Staffordshire Terrier, which is a really fancy word to say pit bull,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and Collie and German Shepherd mix. So I know because I got drunk and ordered a DNA test for dogs. And when it came
We've
in, it
all been
surprised
there.
me. And I said, "Guess we're doing this."
You and my
Already
wife
paid
really
for it.
are best friends.
Somebody else paid for this. Drunk Madelaine 3 days ago.
100% something Cameron would do. But she wouldn't be drunk. She would say, "I want to know what this is,"
Oh,
and she would order the DNA test.
I did.
I love her.
also get a mutt for my dad for Christmas, like I guess almost 2 years ago now, and I bought him a dog DNA test kit
That's
for Christmas this year
Outstanding.
as a follow up to that. So.
We all work hard so our dogs can have a better life.
Exactly. Or we have
Hey,
our
the-
parents buy dogs so that we don't have to pay for the dogs, but
Yeah.
we can still have a second dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
Layla
Yeah.
lives a good life. She just
I bet
comes
she
to the
does.
brewery with us.
What a great.
All right, the
life.
Louisville Ale Tales podcast coming soon, guys.
Yes.
Ale
You
Tales.
heard it here first.
Don't
Just interview the dog.
Shout out to Riley.
Riley, that's my daughter.
Yeah.
And
It's
my
a
dog.
dog.
If you could, please, sir, on your weapon of choice, we've got the sword, we've got the double-bladed axe,
Oh, wow.
we've got the mace or the ball and chain, we've got a bow and arrow, as we discussed, a dagger, close and personal, or a scimitar, a curved Arabian sword, I believe.
So once again, my team would expect me to pick the bow, but
Mhm.
I am kind of a dagger person.
Mhm.
I'm sort of the kind of guy who you think is fine, sweet, nice until, you get too close and you mess with something that I'm really
Mhm.
Passionate about, and then I just
I'm gonna
stab you with my dagger.
Yeah.
I would take another approach to that too. If you're walking around with any one of these weapons, like you got a sword on your hip.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You're open carrying. If you got a dagger, it's like I just got a dagger. It's here. Like if I need a dagger, I'm
don't
okay.
know.
But like
I protect my friends
I
and
might just be
family.
using it to open boxes. You don't know.
Precisely, exactly. All right, the dagger. And our second, I think, to last question. Can you pick a constellation for us, please, sir? We have Leo. I hope one of these is your sign or something, but we'll see.
I
You said
wouldn't
your
pick
birthday's coming
any
up.
of
Leo,
these.
Aries, Pisces, Capricorn, Cancer. Booties? Is that a constellation?
Boots.
That's not a.
I don't believe it.
Am I on candid camera? No.
Yes.
What? Oh, I've never even heard of that
Listen,
one.
I've never heard of that one
Yeah.
either.
What? How's it spelled?
Thanks, BuzzFeed.
Boots?
Bootes.
Booties.
I'm trying to visualize the
This is also on Patreon.
booties.
Listen, we're all
Booties.
gonna pull our pants down next. Show you
I
our
don't
booties.
know.
In 300 years, all the constellations will be like, oh, that looks like the Instagram logo. Dad?
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, Jesus.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I am a Gemini, which
Okay.
obviously is not on there.
That's both of you.
But my son, has a. How will I say this? My youngest son, we call him a lion, so
Mhm.
I'm going with Leo.
Oh,
All right.
That's what I would choose too.
That's what I'm a Leo.
My bestie is a Leo, so
Just like the dog that was in here before.
Leo!
Yes,
we
Leo.
stand.
Finally, what do you want to be known for? This
Oh.
goes to your legacy standpoint.
Oof.
Your humor, your intelligence, your kindness, your passion, your style, or your success.
Are we talking about now? Or are we talking about like when I
When
was
you're
a
dead.
young man? Or yeah,
I think that's
isn't
part
that
of the
interesting
equation.
about life? Honestly,
Yeah, it is. You have different
how we-
phases of life.
correct.
Yeah.
I would say that that it would be a tie between my kindness and my passion.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, you can only pick one.
Oh, okay. Well, then
This is a BuzzFeed quiz.
true.
We're not.
Okay.
We're not actually in psychoanalysis right now.
I am.
well, then I would say, I'm passionate about being kind.
Yeah.
So let's say
That's good.
passion.
All right.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun. Oh no!
If it
not
works.
again.
Great. I'm a dinosaur.
No, you are Aphrodite,
What
good
a
sir.
Sexy little meeks.
Wait,
You
what?
are Aphrodite, the goddess of love, beauty, and the general glow up. This is a BuzzFeed quiz, ladies and gentlemen. To put it bluntly, you're a glamazon queen who's gorgeous on the inside and the outside. I would agree with that,
Yeah.
having gotten to know you here. But especially like on the outside.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be like a killer.
You're a beautiful-
Aphrodite is actually above all of the other Greek pantheon because
It's
she
true.
was not born of Zeus or like a sibling to Zeus. She was made because Zeus's dad, Kronos, jerked off
oh.
and his seed went into the ocean. And Aphrodite was born out of his seed's foam.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is that right?
So it's yeah, something like that. And then she was in love with Ares and
Hephaestus. But she ultimately ended up with Hephaestus.
Oh.
sorry.
No,
yeah.
Apollo. And maybe it was
I feel
Ares.
like you're
I
speaking
know
Greek.
nothing about
Yeah.
Greek mythology.
This is all Greek
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me.
I went to public
Same.
school.
I went to a Christian school.
I got
we
kicked out
didn't
of
talk
Highland-
about mythology.
I got kicked out of Highlands Latin School.
Please tell me that story.
I don't know.
That'll be on the next
I did take a
podcast.
year of Greek though. But yeah, I don't know.
It makes sense to me because everything you've said thus far, it's not about, being like
much
the best
love.
or the fastest. It's about love, and that, Aphrodite was predominantly associated with like lustful love, but that actually was not at all the complete
Nailed it. No, I'm kidding.
well,
I mean,
sometimes literally,
with tequila.
but yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's about connection, and it's about like people
Community.
appreciating each other and communicating and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's lovely, actually. By the way, Madelaine took the
You're
quiz, and she is Aphrodite.
As well.
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
Moeller
I'm so
took the
sorry.
I
quiz,
think
and you
anyone who
were
knows me-
Dionysus.
Dionysus.
Makes sense. I
Nobody's
took it earlier, and I
surprised.
got Hermes or Mercury. Yeah.
Oh, really?
You got Mercury?
Yeah.
Hermes is pretty cool.
You are
to
cool.
be
You have like
honest.
winged shoes, and
Yeah.
you send messages.
You're fast.
We love
Yep.
messengers.
We love messengers.
And,
All the
yeah.
things I wanted to be when I was young.
Fast and like,
Fast.
yeah.
Yeah.
Agile. Yeah. Quippy.
We love
So yeah, you're pretty good at sharing things, and I believe you've shared something else other than whiskey for us tonight.
So you asked me to bring a non-drink related item that I love. Here's the thing. I like experiences. So that's what Kyros is really all about. It's about creating this back porch experience, right? Or this porch time experience. And so I thought to myself, how can I bring experience? Well, what goes better with bourbon and beer than a cigar? And I'm a big cigar fan. So I have brought each of you
All right.
a very nice cigar. I'm going to let Madelaine describe it because she knows so much about cigars.
Yes, so it is in a brown tube, and it says Hampton Court on it, and it is probably, I don't know, like 5 inches long. Imported handmade cigars.
Look, we all understand that Madelaine's estimations of things aren't always accurate, guys.
Macondo. Listen, it's very average.
Wait. Say it again.
Macondo?
Macundo?
Wow.
Macanudo.
I don't know.
Macanudo.
Maduro.
Macanudo.
I don't know.
Michael, give it a shot.
Macanudo.
Hampton Court.
Oh, nice. It's
McKenna.
Macanudo.
Macanudo. I can see that.
Okay. It is.
I
awesome.
left out like 2 letters.
Well, it's hard to read things when you can only see a few syllables at a time.
It is.
Yeah, there you go.
So you're leaving out some of the important pieces of this, though. So you have to read what that says underneath it.
Maduro.
Right. So Maduro is the type of wrap that is in.
It's in a very brown wrap.
Correct.
I thought you meant like, I like cigars. I like to go to bars. I was like, yeah.
Dropping on Spotify
wow.
next week.
That's fantastic.
I drive fast cars.
And so
Smells very good.
It does. They are very good. So
Smells
Maduro is a little more. I would say it's a little more bitter.
Okay.
So like if we were talking about beer,
I just told you I like donuts.
yeah, you are not going to like this at all.
I know.
It's just a
I'm
tobacco
sorry.
donut.
I'm sorry.
So this would be like an imperial IPA.
Let's go.
I'm sorry. Everybody who makes Imperial IPAs you're so good at your job.
Yeah, people make IPAs because
I'm such an ass.
They're-
I'm sorry. I apologize.
This is what happens, folks, when you work in the beer game for a long time and then you don't work in the beer game anymore.
yeah,
You just
You
like
just say whatever you want.
Like, what's your best lager on tap?
preach.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So again,
You asked me if I want to cut or punch it, and I don't know what any of that means. But I could cut or punch you if that's what you want.
I feel like you guys sat me here for a reason. So some people like to cut the end off,
Okay.
and if we do
This
that,
or this?
are
Which
you
end?
serious right now?
So you're talking to 3 non-cigar
Yeah, I don't.
people.
wow.
I've
Okay,
smoked a
well,
cigar
you know,
maybe
I'm not
like
alone in
I
this.
also brought
5
my
times.
personality, and we can talk about
I
that.
tried
If-
one
I'll-
time
we'll
in
just put
college
these
because I
back
thought I
in
would
and
look
we'll-
cool and it didn't work.
No, like I wanna do this, but
Yeah.
like, you know.
Okay.
So, folks, we might set off the fire detectors in here. This might be a brief segment, but we're going to give it a whirl.
We've
okay?
opened up the windows.
We have
and
airflow.
doors.
You had no idea when you invited me onto the podcast that. Okay, wait. Oh my goodness.
No, you're doing things wrong.
Listen, I've only smoked 2
Ah.
things in my life, and it was not a cigar. Neither of those.
Same.
Don't show my parents this.
How do you? So here. So after
that's so good.
after you do this, and when I start smoking it, tell me how I'm supposed to like taste a cigar, because that's something I've never been good at.
What do
You
you mean
don't like
taste it?
actually
You'll taste it.
inhale, right? You just
No.
in
You
your
don't.
mouth.
But like,
Mhm.
how do I?
You just hold it in your mouth, Michael.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, but for the listeners out there,
Oh, okay. You
Oh,
like
That's good.
you inhale to where it fills your mouth with the flavors of
cigar.
of cigar,
Mhm.
Thank you.
but you don't inhale
lied
it
to
into
me.
your lungs, and then you.
You lied. You said you'd never done this before.
I love to read.
Yeah, a lot of Hemingway.
Like, don't people like chew on them?
Chew on them. What are you talking about?
It's always like the colonel, like the boot sergeant in the
They're
movie. He's
like-
like, listen, sergeant, listen, soldier, you're fuck out for more ways than I can tell you.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I just get confused.
Peter Parker.
yeah, you're what's that guy's name? The Spider-Man.
Don't be confused. Just always put your mouth on the end that's not lit.
Well, okay, yeah, I know that much.
Why would we want to support that Spider-Man? So how do you tell a good cigar from a bad cigar? Or like what like obviously there are resources out there to be like, hey, I'm writing for Cigar Magazine or whatever, and
Cigar
like
Aficionado.
Cigar Aficionado, which has a lot of spirits in it.
True.
But like what what's a good resource for people that want to get into cigars that don't otherwise?
I mean, I would say that is that's so. I'm not really sure. I think my wife was trying to tell me one time that I was not cool enough, and so for Christmas she got me, I don't know, 10, 12 different cigars and a subscription to Cigar Aficionado, and it was probably because she saw me sitting out on the back porch smoking with several guys from the neighborhood who, always brought the cigars. But, that's where I started. That's where I started learning about cigars. And, it's fascinating. There's all different sizes of them. Depends on how long you want to smoke the cigar.
How long will this take you?
That one's about an hour.
Wow. But you can put a pause on it and then
correct.
continue it
Do
later.
other things.
That's
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. Now you've seen the big Churchills, the great big ones. That's about a 2-hour smoke.
Wow.
So it's a commitment. But honestly, for me, there are fewer things that are more enjoyable with bourbon than a cigar.
Do you think it's like the smoky, woody flavors that kind of like bring it out?
Yeah, I think so.
Or is it more like you said, experience? Is it kind of just like
I think it's
a
both.
nice pair
Yeah. So,
of things to do?
maybe it's both for me. I think I mentioned that I have a daughter. She's 28. She's amazing.
We could be friends.
You could be friends.
Madelaine just
honestly,
needs friends.
I just came here to be friends with people.
let me just say that if I
1-800 be my friend.
didn't know her, I would not be able to hang out with her because her cool level
You did
is
say this.
well above mine. Even though I do look like Bryan Cranston.
I can see
I'm
it.
kidding.
I wasn't going to say
I was gonna-
anything.
exactly.
but-
Listen, I was going to make a reference to that show earlier when you said that.
It's kind of funny.
You're-
This happens to me all the
Yeah.
time. But anyway, so, there have been many, many, many nights when it's just been me and my daughter and a bottle of bourbon and a great cigar. And so it could just be that, those experiences mean so much to me.
Yeah.
That there is that, those memories that cause that.
Absolutely.
But there are certain bourbons that pair with certain cigars, and it actually brings out, the two of them bring out the flavors of
Of the other.
either. Yeah. And so I will say that if you're not a cigar smoker, like on the reg, this is probably not the cigar to start with. So like if you drink beer, or let me say that a different way. If you've not drank beer before, you may not start somebody on an Imperial IPA.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Never.
Right. Yeah, because they're going to say this is terrible. It tastes like grass. It's super hoppy. It's it's bitter.
Well, it's the
Exactly.
closest thing to Bud Light. It's what you hear when you're a bartender a lot of the time. you know?
Wait, say that again.
People ask what the closest thing is to Bud Light at craft breweries.
That's what you. Yes, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And craft beer people talk
That's
about
not
like
what
the
I
gateway
asked.
beer. Like you need that beer that's like
Yeah.
approachable but still
Duh.
defining of a style.
Yes.
La
Yeah.
Bambas.
La
If
Bambas
you
ain't
will.
bad.
I love a good La Bamba.
Yeah. Shout out to Vince Kane, who you all know, who helped to start
Great
Great
Flood.
Flood here in town. He when we started, he's a friend of mine, love him to death, and his wife. When we started down this path to start a brewery, he said, "What's your cellar?" And I'm like, "Well, gosh, I hope they all sell." But what he said is, "Hey, here's the thing. You need to create a beer using very few ingredients that's mostly clear and has, not a huge flavor."
Hmm.
And I'm like, "Yeah, we don't do that. We're craft brewers." And he laughed and said, "What everyone says, but this beer will pay for everything else." And
Yeah.
Madelaine, you said it right. It's that, about every third person who comes through the door says, "I drink Bud Light."
Mhm.
What do you have that's close to that? Right. And so, but so the We mentioned the Maduro wrap.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dark wrap on the cigar. It's bitter. And so one of the things that I like, you mentioned you like wine.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I like about wine is I love spicy food. And so
same.
a Gewürztraminer that pairs really well with spicy foods.
Yeah.
You need something that is relatively spicy to go with this spicy cigar. Otherwise, it really fouls up everything.
I see.
So there you go. That's about all I know.
I mean, I don't hate it. It doesn't like it. It smells nice.
Yeah, it's like a. It's not like it doesn't smell like a cigarette.
Like I'm not being nice. Like
we're gonna be
so
mean.
no. So
not being nice.
I've gone through phases where I smoked cigars when I was like 18 because it's like, oh, I can smoke cigars now, cool. And I was just like buying just like cheap things. And I was
Backwoods.
And I was just like
Swisher Sweets.
Well,
Yes.
a little bit better than that.
Me and my friends went through like a pipe phase.
That's
We'd buy
so
like
funny.
pipe
I bought
tobacco.
I bought a corn
Oh
pop
my
pipe
God.
from
I have a. Hey, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
No.
That's
I bought my
amazing.
first pipe I bought from Jungle Jim's in Cincinnati.
Shout out.
And I would like buy like loose tobacco and filled it because I was thinking it was like really cool.
Yep.
But I would get into cigars on a very loose basis with my friends, and like I was kind of following their footsteps. It's like, all right, my friends supposedly know what they're doing, so I'm just gonna buy what they buy. And after a while, I was like, God, I can't fucking hate cigars.
Tastes
I
like a
just-
bonfire.
I don't like it. And that's been my opinion now for the better part of 8 years probably. This is the first cigar I've even smelled in 8 years, even from secondhand smoke, that I've been able to tolerate, let alone smoke at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Like this,
Where'd
I'm
you get
actually
these?
enjoying.
here's
So-
the thing. If any cigar is, and I don't, here's the reason. Again, we talked about the fact that you open a brewery to be a thousandaire, not a millionaire.
Sure.
Right.
If that.
But the truth is, if you don't pay $11 or more,
Got that one in the back of the throat there, so I need to get that out.
don't inhale.
And that's what she said.
Yeah. So
Michael Scott. Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm trying to put my armpit
I
in the...
can't. Praise the Lord. No, I'm
Sorry,
kidding.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah. So if the cigar costs less than about $11, you're going to have the same experience that you've had. Now, there are some out there that are really good that are less than that, but my experience is you get what you pay for.
I like this.
That's
Our people
funny.
here they can only hear, well, maybe they can see
They
us.
can
Yeah,
see
we're
it
on
too.
YouTube.
But
See
it's
us.
clear that you
It-
are missing half of the experience.
How so?
Well, you have
Not
no
drinking
bourbon.
bourbon.
Well, who are you? Look at you.
Oh.
I'm also not drinking.
I've also ran out of my bourbon, but
Literally,
I have
brought
lived-
2 bottles.
I've
so
lived
we have
38 years on
plenty.
this
Oh my
earth.
gosh.
all right, give me a little. Let me do a quick
a
side
little
by
bit, a
side
little
here.
I've tried to get into cigars like 3 or 4 times, and it doesn't make any
This
connection
is-
in my brain.
Listen,
This is
I
the
just
second
came here for
time.
the free stickers. So.
Okay. Again, but with the bourbon, okay.
So I'll say
No, this is
it
good.
does
We're not
affect my like
opposed.
olfactory a little bit. I'm getting kind of more of like caramel apple out of the bourbon
Yeah.
now than I was before.
And you kind of you can't just throw the bourbon down, right? You kind of have to let the two pair.
Sure.
I don't think John's buying it. And he's smoking
I'm into
the
this.
cigar like a cigarette. I love this guy. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, it kind of mellows it out.
It does kinda mellow it
does
out. It
pair
makes
a
it more
lot better
interesting.
than
Yeah,
with
yeah.
beer,
Yeah.
to
You're
be
right,
honest.
you're right,
I took
you're
a
right.
drink of beer after, and I was like, but it does pair a lot better with
The truth is, I don't love bourbon that much either. I like light beer and fucking swinging an axe and like getting dirty. Like I'm not a cigar guy.
What did
I'm not.
what did Kramer say? Here's
I
yeah.
Oh,
here's to
no.
feeling good all the time.
Michael Moeller has reached hero status, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
fine.
fantastic.
That is like literally the best Seinfeld moment too. It's so good.
John, I feel like though, I don't know. I feel more of a connection though between the two of us than.
Hey, look,
But you don't like it. You said bring 2 things you love: one that's non-drink and one that's drink. So you don't
Well,
like
look,
either.
I love anime of Japanese anime of like
like
squirrels meeting new friends in the forest. Doesn't have to be everybody's thing. I don't actually. I was just trying to make up an example of something that would be like niche that not everybody has to
you
love.
thought that.
Do you have a specific example of that?
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
Okay.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Put it in the show
Well,
notes.
yeah, Michael, that's on you.
All the show notes. Well, this has been fantastic, and I'm out now because of the bourbon.
What do people?
Listen to Moeller. You're fired. You're fired.
What do people usually bring us or not?
Yeah, I kind of get the
Like
sense that
Jenga? I don't know. No, not really. We've had all sorts of different things.
That I am like,
Trying to think of what I would have brought.
am I a trailblazer here? Like
Yeah. This is the first time we've smoked on the podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Or in the shop. Like, yeah.
Or in the shop.
Yeah.
No, some people bring like concert tickets. One person brought Diet Coke. I mean, it varies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, but this is seriously like opening my mind to cigars again for the first time.
Next time we'll cut it.
No,
and
it's
not
fine.
punch it.
No.
So you got.
We saw an interesting story popping up in our regional news. Do you guys want to talk about this one for a second?
Yes.
I don't know if you guys follow the Elizabethtown newspaper, the New Enterprise.
Nope.
But I saw a story on social media float up from down there this week, in that Elizabethtown hopes to become the hub of activity. And long story short, what Elizabethtown's going for is to open up, basically, I guess you would call it like an open container area within their downtown, where people can go to the establishments that are inside of it and they can get a beer at their favorite local brewery. They can then walk down to their favorite bar or cigar shop or donut shop or whatever. But they're going to experiment with
Like an open air market.
like
kind
Open
just
container.
an area of downtown where you can walk around and drink outside, just as if you were in
Open
France
container.
or like Spain or like those
yes.
European cities where they
Or,
allow that.
Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah. Savannah's. Oh, a lot of the cool American cities where you can do that are so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I'll be there in
I
September.
love Savannah. Really,
Yeah.
I love Savannah.
I was
Me
kind of
too.
just curious about your all's takes on this. I'll just read you a brief snippet from the news article that I came across, and then maybe we can just kind of discuss it. Is this something that Louisville needs? What are the pros and cons of this kind of a model? But the article goes to say, Elizabethtown wants downtown to be a hub for the entertainment in the region. In a move to bring more life to the downtown district, which a lot of urban centers, Louisville included, are struggling with right now, the city council has passed an ordinance designating an area in downtown as the Entertainment District Center. There's a lot of benefits to it, Elizabethtown Public Relations Officer Amy Inman said. It will enhance our downtown. As the downtown becomes more alive and we have more businesses come in, you're seeing with our planning and development, it just makes sense. Named The Hub in a nod to the city's former nickname. I guess that's
Interesting.
like E-Town Scoop or whatever.
I never heard
The
of that.
Entertainment Destination Center is an economic development program that allows patrons to purchase an alcoholic beverage in a designated cup. So you have to get it in like the special cup, and then you can carry it anywhere you want to go inside of the downtown area. Anyway, there's runs between specific neighborhoods, and even though blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I think it's interesting, and I do applaud E-Town for taking those moves. You wouldn't always associate that with like small town Kentucky kind of being progressive. But you were telling me, Moeller, that Owensboro has
Owensboro's already done it.
Yeah.
Owensboro's not Gaslight District. What's it called?
That little pier area down there, right?
Yeah, I mean, when Mile Wide was there in Owensboro, they were part of that district, and basically, and I don't think it was 24/7.
Mile Wide started in Owensboro.
No, they didn't
They
start.
had a little,
they
like,
had they had a satellite tap
Oh,
room there, and it's
wow.
since closed because of COVID.
Gotcha.
RIP. Sorry, guys. But they were there for a second, and yeah, they were there in this part of town where I think it was like a couple days a week on Fridays and Saturdays. Maybe they just opened up this couple blocks of area. I don't live in Owensboro. I don't know, but
It's around the area where they have like the Cheers on the Pier, like
Yeah.
beer festival.
It's a place where you could just go and open carry a container. Basically, it's like we're in COVID and just walking my dog basically in the Highlands, but actually legal.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what that was essentially like. And then also, just right across the river in New Albany right now, they're considering that.
Yeah.
So I hear through a different resolution on city council.
I think theirs is going to be like maybe considered on that Main Street area by like Floyd County down to like the Exchange Kitchen or whatever it is now. So they're just their little main drag.
Yeah.
I personally think that it's amazing, and there's no reason you shouldn't be able to drink beer. Like, this is just my inner libertarian talking, but like, I can understand public intoxication rules and I can understand all that stuff, but in cultures where they've grown up with it, like we've imposed these rules from the top down, not from the bottom up, in my opinion. So I applaud E-Town, and I think it's gonna be cool, and it actually kind of makes me want to go down there and check it out. And I'm sure that's true.
Which is what they want,
exactly.
by the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
tourism.
going to Flywheel and having a beer and walking out the front door, which is, I don't actually know, but I'm going to assume that the area that they're talking about is right outside of the Flywheel Brewery area. So why not?
You can find it at just toureatown.com. They've got like a whole page about it, but just the hub in E-Town. They have a lot of rules and regulations, so they're just going to make sure everybody's like abiding by the rules and like, whatever. But then they've got a cool little interactive map. It spans about 6 blocks just all along their kind of main drag. I'm excited for them. And
Nice.
we'll probably do a little Louisville Ale Trail
Absolutely.
experience down there to kind of promote it and check it out.
It's going to be really fun. We saw a glimpse of that even just this past weekend and a few times a year right now where Cycluvia comes in town and kind of shuts down some, Cycluvia came in and shut down Hancock through 10th Street.
Yeah.
Here in Louisville over the past weekend. So that's 10 plus blocks of basically open container laws of just carrying beer around on your bike or on your roller skates or just walking around because you don't have wheels on your feet. That's fine. So why not
Unless
to make
you
that
have
a little bit more?
Heelys.
Yeah. Why not?
I could see the cons. Like I could see where people would be concerned that you're just kind of inviting public intoxication and irresponsible drinking and stuff like that. But to me, at least, I don't know. People are already enjoying those things, and the main thing I would think about it from like a consumer standpoint is that it just sounds really fun. Like thinking about it from a Louisville perspective, we have events like on like Market Street, a couple times a year, Newly Fest, Bachfest. They shut down the street. You get a special use permit, and you can like set up SB11 beer events, or you can go into Kasha, or you can go into West 6 and get a beer and just walk around and peruse the shops. It's really fun, and it gives you a reason to like want to come because it makes it. It's like you're more part of a community rather than you're just going to one specific business to hang out or whatever.
I love that.
Yeah. And if you've been to cities like that, which I think we probably all have, like it just adds so much character. And I don't know. So
Definitely.
if we did it in Louisville, where should we do it? Nulu's the obvious
Kyros,
answer.
Portland.
I was going to say, like, we talked about Portland's bikeability, like having a little stretch there where you could just bounce between like Shippingport and Kyros,
Yes.
like, and ATG's like distribution or their like production hubs down there and more to come.
Yep.
Certainly.
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's easy for me to say Germantown because I live there, but
Goss Avenue.
Yeah, Goss Avenue. It feels a little bit segmented
Over
for
there
me.
near Gravely.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great stretch, honestly. Yeah.
Just block me in my house.
Yeah. But no, it feels segmented for me to go to like the Pearl and then like, all right, I'll have a drink here. Okay, I got to close out because I'm going to go over to Hawks.
Yeah.
Like, no, why don't I just like take the drink that I got at the Pearl and then enjoy it along the
Walk
way?
around.
I
and
love
then
that.
Just walk
Yeah.
around.
Big fan.
Isn't it interesting because COVID changed some of that?
Yeah.
You know, like the
Cocktails to go and everything.
Yes, yeah.
I remember like some of I feel like I've made so many friends just based off of my experience at Gravely, and like all those connections and relationships have been a huge influence in my life. And during COVID, I would see a lot of those like regulars that I had, and I actually ran into a couple of them getting like agave and rye to go, and I walked down to like pick up our order to go, and they like invited me into their car because it was so cold outside, and I was just like, this is the best. And they were like sitting there sipping margaritas, and I was like, man, this is a great idea.
Yeah.
So I got like a whole like kit and caboodle of like an entire bottle.
Is that a
of-
French word?
Getting caboodle.
is,
Yeah.
actually, yes.
Latvia. Yeah.
Very cultured here.
Like Gravely and Agave and Rye is a perfect example of why that would be cool in Louisville. Just exactly what
walk
you just
down,
said.
And Mile Wine's right around the corner,
Yep.
and Highwire up the street.
Yep.
So yeah.
In a perfect world, we would have a brewery district in Louisville, in
Oh
which
my gosh,
we have
yeah.
a stretch. I mean, because let's be honest, Louisville is kind of
Sparse.
it's sparse,
it's-
but there are a lot of breweries in one clustered area,
Yeah.
and there needs to be more like
I agree.
like you
Yeah.
all like out in the
Yeah.
outskirts, kind of. But until then, we do have all these in one cluster, so we might as well enjoy them all at the same time together. So
I
Isn't
agree.
it funny though? Somebody asked me the other day. They were like, "Gosh, you're starting a brewery?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they said, "Don't you think that Louisville is
Aren't there
saturated?"
enough?
Hear
with
that a
breweries?"
lot.
You're like, "Really? Have you ever been to Asheville? Have you
Yeah.
ever been to Portland, Oregon?
Yeah.
They have more breweries in that city than we have in the entire
Yeah.
state of Kentucky.
And even if you just want to use Louisville as an example, like we have Conrad Selly's old book sitting back on the table back there. Pre-Prohibition, there literally was like a brewery. And it was different back then, obviously, because you had to drink local. There was no refrigeration or any of that stuff. But there were little breweries on every street corner. And it wasn't a place to go to like necessarily party or whatever. But we talk sometimes on the podcast about like that the brewery is more of like the third space. It's not, you're not at home. You're not at work. It might be where you stop in between those things to access your community, to talk to your friends, to like check in with the neighbors, to see what the lady who owns the cigar club is doing.
Yes.
Like, whatever. It's just a place to
I have a friend
commune.
named Mia, and Lee is from England. And that is a part of their culture. Literally, he says, that I said, what do you do on the weekends in England? And he's
The
like,
pub.
man, we walk
Mhm.
and then we go to the pub.
Yeah.
And there's a pub in every neighborhood. And it is that third space, right? It's like an extension of your home because when you go there, all your friends, all your relatives, everybody's just hanging out. Again, shameless plug for Kyros. But
Yeah.
that's what we want in
Yeah.
Portland. We really want this to be a place where people just kind of show up, hang out, and oh, by the way, there's really good beer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Really appreciate you coming in.
It's over?
Uh,
I'm kidding. Yes, you're welcome.
We're gonna be here all night.
but that being said, like, what do you have coming up that you'd like people to know about? You've been open for like a month now, but so other than just like visiting you all,
What's funny because
What else is
we're only open on Fridays and Saturdays, so actually we've only been open for about 8 days.
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, no kidding.
I like this business
That's
model.
nice.
kidding.
I do too.
So, as I've said to each of you, right, we never intended to serve beer there. It was always about just brewing beer there and kind of testing whether or not the beer was actually good and not just our friends telling us it was good. Now that we're there, it really does kind of seem like a Kyros kind of thing. It's like, I don't think we'll ever not have a presence in Portland. And so, the thing that is upcoming is we really are going to be, I hope, taking over the space that actually is that fronts Portland Avenue.
Nice.
Right now, there is we have the very back third, I guess, of a building that is primarily leased by an amazing caterer,
farm
to fork.
Oh,
Correct.
yes. Delicious.
Love
Sherry,
Farm to
I'm
Fork.
telling you what, their food is amazing. My wife is gluten-free.
Mhm.
They gave us some gluten-free vegan. Generally, at this point, I would be running the other direction, right?
Yeah.
But they gave us some gluten-free vegan chocolate chip cookies. I think I would choose those cookies over anything I've ever had. They are
Yeah.
amazing. So Sherry came to us and said, hey, we're not using the front space. Why don't you guys use the front space? And oh, by the way, we'd love to make some beer cheese with your beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'd love to maybe partner on some occasions and serve some food. That's great for us, right? If you've had their food, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So what's upcoming, I don't know how soon. I'm hoping sooner rather than later. We'll have the front space of the old firehouse, be able to throw that garage door open and people will be able to access the front. Sorry, bicyclers. Sorry, Lee or Lori, Cheek. But, the truth is that
Gentrification.
Yeah,
like in
no
action,
kidding.
guys.
Well,
yeah.
it's
Kyros
funny.
is opening up the front.
It's true. What's funny, John, you say gentrification. I think what I love the most about Portland is that watching the change that is occurring there is change happening, but it is not gentrification.
Yeah,
And I think that's better.
I do too.
Yeah. And so, we're really excited to be a part of that. I know for a lot of folks, certainly it's not walking distance. It's a little bit of a drive,
But it makes it an adventure, and it makes it like your place that you went to go find. It makes it's something
Yeah.
you did intentionally, and like to me, that makes it become your new favorite place.
yeah, listen, if you don't feel like you are a part of the family, then I need to hear about it because I'm not doing my job. That's really what we're about.
I mean, to that point, I mean, I've been there 3 times now. The first night I was there, like you were literally the first person to come talk to us. Like, hey, how's it going? And I mean, I'm not to,
it goes a long way.
I love you too, Michael.
Yeah, no,
There we are.
exactly. Yeah,
There we are.
no, it was very nice. Like you were just like there, and just like you didn't. I'm still nobody. I'm not playing this podcast card or intro card.
Totally.
But like you didn't know like I was part of any kind of like system.
I didn't know who you were.
Exactly.
To be honest.
Like,
Yeah.
And I don't exactly. I'm nobody. But like at the same point, like that didn't matter to you. I was just coming in to try your beer, and you're just like, hey, welcome. How's it going? What are you drinking? How do you like it? Can I get you more of it? Oh man, that jalapeno porter. Oh, it's great, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's our favorite. Like you were very welcoming. That felt like a family atmosphere immediately as soon as I sat down.
Well, I appreciate that because truly the 6 of us, that is our heart. And, if you come into Kyros and you walk out and you say, wow, the beer, it was good, but you say, man, the experience that I had there was very community, very
you can't
family.
get that everywhere.
I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's truly. Now, Taylor, this is a shout out to our master brewer. He is very talented. And so I don't think you're going to come and say the family atmosphere, the community atmosphere was great, but the beer, it was average. I really do think you're going to like both.
Sure.
So come down, experience it, put all of your hesitations about Portland aside, and just come experience the back porch.
Yeah.
That's a good plug.
Yeah.
Madelaine, what do you have to plug?
Well,
Cigars.
I mean, I just hope that I can make it out to Kyros this weekend, honestly, even though you guys are only open on days that I'm busy. It's fine.
Soon,
I'll find some
the more people who
time.
come and drink Kyros beer,
Yeah.
the more we will be open.
Can you get it to go?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're working on it.
Coming soon.
One podcast segment at a time.
That's right.
Well, it's funny, one of the things I do want to say before we go is that having never been a part of the brew community, I am blown away by the Louisville brewery community.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is for everybody. And we have experienced that even in the 8 days that we've been open, right? It's not been 8 days, but, Amelia at Shippingport, John at Noble Funk, just everybody has just kind of jumped in. And when we've asked, why, the cool answer is we want Louisville to be known as a craft beer community.
Let's go.
And so we need everybody to make good craft beer. And, it's the whole idea of rising tides raise every ship,
Mhm.
right? And so I just want to say thanks to everybody out there that has helped Kyros along the way. If you need help, let us know because we are more than willing to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, big fan of craft beer, have been for a long time because of my dad. Shout out Wayne Ruggles.
Hey, Wayne, come on, Wayne.
Oh,
Shout out
Wayne,
Wayne.
have you been to Kyros?
If not yet, but he is coming into town. Will you open on Sunday? He's coming in for Father's Day.
Soon enough.
So he will be here Sunday, and he's a big fan of craft beer, and he's kind of the reason that I've gotten into beer as much as I have, truly.
I heard he makes a mean amber ale.
He makes a mean basement bathtub amber ale. I can ask him to make it for you sometime. It's pretty great. But really, I mean, if I have to put my commercial voice on, Biscuit Belly's introduced a new menu.
Ooh.
So if you have a hangover and you need to visit your next brunch place, we have those healthy, fun, protein-filled options for you, from customizable breakfast bowls to 3 new omelet options and 2 new varieties of pancakes. One of them, which I named the Fluffy Baconator. Am I going to get sued?
Oh.
Maybe.
We
But that would
called
be like,
our smash
I mean-
the Mangalorian. And
Yeah,
there you
right?
go.
That
Yes.
sounds fantastic, Madelaine. How many states is Biscuit Belly in now?
We are actually in. Hold on, I gotta do math. 1, 2.
Wait, which
3,
states?
4.
Also, Wendy's,
Well,
don't
yeah.
sue. Just get
Yeah.
into a Twitter beef.
Wendy's, listen, I looked up your trademarks and it didn't cover breakfast, so get on that. Anyway, so we are in Kentucky, Indiana, We are in Georgia, Alabama, officially Virginia as of like a month ago, and we are soon to be in North Carolina, Raleigh.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Love Raleigh.
Yeah, so I'm very, very excited about these. I've been working on some of the interior designs with our owner directly, and it's so cool. We're working with local muralists from Kentucky, and it's a women-based business, which I'm really, really thrilled about. Their name is Pink Merle, and they're so cool. If you look them up on Instagram, their content is just like the coolest, I think. I think they're such chill girls, and I can't wait to meet them in person. We've had lots of conversations, and they're doing a lot of murals for us moving forward. So all of our scratch-based biscuits, we're really trying to promote, the fact that we're trying to offer some more variety and all that fun stuff. But other than work being a huge part of my life and how much I love Biscuit Belly, I also love beer, which is kind of why I'm here. And if you want to be my friend, I like to be friends with pretty much anybody.
As we have learned.
As we've learned apparently throughout this podcast.
You guys also do a mean social media. So I'd tell everybody just go follow Biscuit Belly on Instagram because you do a very good job with that. It's always it makes me want to go to brunch.
As it should.
Yeah.
Yes, at Biscuit Belly Biscuits or my personal at MB Ruggles. I don't have a lot of followers, but you can follow me. I don't post often, but I will talk to you if you slide into those DMs, if you know what I mean.
Can I so one of our owners, Sarah, she's the marketing person.
We love Sarah.
I love Sarah.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
If I don't
We're
do
gonna be
this,
best
though,
friends immediately.
I just want to say that you can follow us on Instagram at Kyros Brewing.
Yes.
And on Facebook, the same,
As
at
you
Kyros
should.
Brewing.
Yes.
And you're welcome, Sarah.
Who knows? Maybe I'll drop in and do a little content.
Please
for
do.
you.
Yeah.
Please do. She's great. I'm not kidding.
Yeah. Oh, no, I believe it.
John, what do you got?
Well, I had a plug I was going to make, but I'm actually going to take it back to something I plugged a few weeks back, but I'm going to switch up. I'm going to plug the ancient Greek word, not chronos or kyros, but Xenea, I believe is how you pronounce it. Xinea something or whatever. But Xenea was this concept that has no direct translation into English, kind of like Schadenfreude is like a German word, like taking pleasure in the displeasure of your enemies, that just doesn't really have a good English amalgam. But Xenea was an ancient Greek idea from Homer and before that, which was the necessity of hospitality to the stranger. And the idea being that one of the most sincere sins you can commit against the gods would be to have somebody come to you, to your establishment or to your home or to your domicile or to your business, and to shoo them away, to be rude and not to be welcoming. The idea of Xenea would be to welcome the stranger and give them hospitality and assume, good intentions and all that stuff. A lot of the time it was based upon the fact that the person who you don't know coming up to you could be Zeus in disguise, maybe wanting to have sex with you, but sometimes that he did that a lot. But if you shoot him away, you would be hit with the wrath, of the gods or whatever. But the idea of Xenea to me is what I would plug, and I think that's what Kyros does really well. And it's kind of what you've been talking about. It's nobody's a stranger, and then it's what we try to do in our business here as well, and it's what we hope to do with Louisville Ale Trail, to make craft beer, which has been historically something seen as pretentious or for hipsters or for whatever. Craft beer is dead, and it is we who have killed it, to quote Nietzsche's hipster craft beer brother or something like that. But yeah, craft beer is dead. There's no such thing as craft beer. It's just beer made by people in your community or elsewhere that you choose to drink and connect with. You can get a Pilsner, you can get a double IPA, you can probably get a little nip of bourbon and smoke a cigar, but it's just about hanging out in that space and feeling welcome and feeling connected. So Xenea is my plug.
Oh. Now we're gonna have to change the name. I'm
love that.
gonna have to get all new merch.
We have the Louisville,
Oh
Louisville Ale
God.
Trail Legend Series collabs. So maybe when we collab with
that would
Kyros, we can make a beer called Xenea, and we'll figure out
There we
what
go.
that looks
Can we
like.
seriously?
It's going to be a
Can we
Kentucky
do
Common.
that?
Yeah,
Okay,
of
so
course.
what's the beer gonna be?
Kentucky Common.
I mean, we can discuss that anytime.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's please. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be on our OnlyFans. Link in the show notes.
Patreon.
Only cans.
Well, that was nice. I'll plug Married at First Sight, New Orleans.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
What?
You son of a bitch!
What?
Great show.
Not the ultimate. Not the
No,
ultimatum.
not the ultimatum. I haven't seen the ultimatum yet.
I haven't either, honestly.
No, I'm not
shout out
interested in that one.
to Netflix for removing my access because I'm on my parents' account and I don't live in their house anymore, and I can't get.
Oh man! Just when Black Mirror is about to come back on.
I know.
I love you people.
Ban
All of these are shows I
Netflix.
love.
Yeah.
We do not stand Netflix at this moment,
No,
and
not
I'm
at
putting
this
it on
moment.
record to say that I hate you, Netflix.
Shout out to not Netflix.
Not Netflix.
Yeah.
Anybody except for.
Except
How dare you.
Except
Paramount Plus.
for
Yeah,
Married at First
Paramount
Sight,
Plus.
New
Yeah.
Orleans.
Let's go.
That's a good season. It's pretty good so far. I don't know.
All right.
Also
do you
follow-
pay for it? I'm coming over to your house.
Also, follow us on YouTube at Louisville Ale Trail, or however YouTube does that. Followers mean a lot, and subscribers, whatever. Again, thank you,
Thank
Rich,
you.
for coming
Yeah,
Oh
on.
my
this has been
gosh, you guys,
fantastic.
thank you so much. This has been amazing.
If you all enjoyed this conversation, I'm pretty sure this gets replicated every night in your all's
100%.
tap room. Yeah,
Well,
this-
I mean, Fridays and Saturdays.
yeah.
Also,
Friday,
shout out to
Saturday.
Every
Yes.
night, but you can come
Yeah,
Friday
exactly.
and Saturday.
Friday 4 to 10, Saturday
The
3
other
to 10.
days, you guys are cleaning the transfer lines and like dusting off the tri-clamps or whatever. But you can come drink there Friday and Saturday.
I got a little bit more of this cigar to enjoy. So thank you all. Take care and good night.
Thank you.
We love you.